And good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network. And spring sports have been going for a while, at least as far as practices are concerned, but not a whole lot of activity or competition outside of track. We're joined by Matt Nielsen, head girls tennis coach. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, appreciate you joining us. Come on, we're ready to go here.
We're ready to go. We are ready to go. Last Friday, we were ready to go to a scrimmage, and we hopped in the bus, and the weather and the roads were just not good enough, so we ixnayed that. So our one scrimmage was canceled, which is okay. And then we get going tomorrow against Red River.
Hopefully. And now, are the girls really chomping at the bit to get going and just get this season underway?
I think so. And the girls, I was talking to my assistant coach, Coach Aberley, and she goes, this season so far has just been amazing. The kids, their attitudes have been great. They're working hard. They're working at their ability level. And at the varsity courts, we've been changing kids in and out from the JV courts to varsity courts, just seeing different kids here and there. And I think those kids enjoy that opportunity to come up and practice with me, and they're all giving their all. They're all listening. They're all like, yep, I want to get better. And I think by practicing up with me for a day or two and then going back down to the JV, that they bring that energy and that enthusiasm, that want back down there. And so I think it's really up in our JV practice by intermixing our JV varsity practices. So the kids have been absolutely fantastic, and we haven't been able to play a challenge match because the nets are up, but with the snow last week, City Park has a lot of shade. So we finally were able to get out there and play yesterday. We had 6 kids go down to City Park and play some matches, so we actually got a little match play in yesterday, which left us 12 to practice with me, 12 to practice with Coach Aberley, because we do have 31 girls out, which is great. And then so tomorrow's match, we will verify this morning if we're playing indoors or outdoors. Okay. So they have it scheduled. It's scheduled for 4 o'clock outdoors at Register Courts at Red Rivers Middle School. But if the Parks and Rec don't have the nets up, because they wash the courts first, then they get the nets up, they let the frost come out. I think it's a little too cautious to do all that stuff, like, hey, let's get the nets up and play. But if their nets aren't up and they're not ready, then we're going to be playing indoors at 1 o'clock at Choice Health and Fitness tomorrow.
So you're playing regardless?
Regardless, we will be playing tomorrow.
What would they prefer, indoor or out?
I think our girls want out because we've been practicing out, and they're like, hey, Red River might have a little advantage because they've been practicing indoors for 2 weeks, and it's their home courts, and they're inside. So I think our girls would be like, let's go outside. If it's Red River's first day outside, we might have a little advantage there.
Is there, obviously there is, because outside you're working with elements, maybe a little wind and so forth. Indoors you're not. So does it change your style of the game or anything like that, indoors to outdoors?
I don't think so. I mean, because we talked to the girls a lot about the wind, and it's neither good nor bad.
Okay.
It's objectively there. You have to figure out how to play with it. You have to how to play against it with a crosswind, but you don't let it get you down. You don't let it get you frustrated. You just figure out how to play with it. So I think our girls are better off because they have that mentality of not, oh my gosh, this wind is awful. No, you can't do that. You got to go, what's the wind doing? How do I effectively play with it on both sides of the courts when we have a changeover? So I would rather play outside right now because we have been playing outside, but you know what? Our last 3 matches were indoors at Choice Fitness, and you know how those ended.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to talk about that, but it works. It works. Let's look at the EDC this year, Coach. Where do you see some of the best teams at right now in the EDC?
I think it's going to be wide open. I mean, we should be pretty all right. We graduated 4, like we said, but we should still be pretty all right. And then we got Red River, who will be good. Cheyenne's going to be good. Horace is going to have a number 1 player, but I don't know how many more came over to Horace. Horace will be brand new school this year, so I don't know how deep they're going to be, but they have a solid number 1. Davies always reloads, so I mean I hope we can finish in that top 4. One of my buddy Greg McCormick, he goes, I think Shanley's going to be good this year too. So I mean, it's pretty fun when it's wide open and there's not one powerhouse that's going to be like, oh, we're all looking at that person. I don't think anybody's looking at anybody thinking they're the ones to beat. I think everybody's going, man, we all have a shot. So I think it's going to be a very fun season.
And Shanley would be the first match at home next week.
Yes, yes. So that'll be a good challenge. I know they have their number 1 from last year graduated. But their number 2, Mary Wolf's, state qualified several times already, and she's only I should say twice. She's only a freshman. already state qualified twice, and then at the region tournament, Shanley had a coming out party in the individuals where they didn't qualify a bunch, but they had a bunch win a ton of matches, and everybody was going, whoa, where did all these numbers 3, 4, and 5 of Shanley are, like, they got to the state qualifier and didn't win it, but, like, they were there. So it'll be very interesting on Tuesday too. So we have two really tough matches right out the gate.
You talked about challenge matches. I haven't had a chance really to get challenge matches yet, but have you have an idea what your lineup will look like?
Yep. So Kaylee's coming off of injury for basketball. She hasn't been really feeling it that much in tennis. It's been okay so far. But we haven't challenged. But Sky took 6th at state last year in singles. So we're putting her at number 1. Team said, "Yep, Sky's our number 1." Because I mean, when she hits against me, you should see it. Like it's fun tennis when I'm hitting against Sky. So Sky's gonna be our 1, Georgia's gonna be our 2, and then Kaylee's gonna drop to the 3. Hasn't been able to go full blast, so we're just gonna play her at the 3. At 4 and 5 was our 8 and 9, the ones that came to state last year didn't get a chance to play at state, but our 8 and 9 will be 8 and 9 from last year will be our 4, 5 this year. So to start off, and that'd be Lexi Swedingson, and then you got Sarah Byerly, and then number 6 just to start off is going to be Chloe Liebersbach. Is going to be our 6, and then in doubles we're going to go Kaylee and Sky at 1, and the reason is that Sky hits the ball hard. Hopefully Kaylee doesn't have to move much.
Sure.
Right? That's the whole point there.
Right.
Because and I said, can you handle it for 2 matches? Because I'll be able to do it. And I'm like, I hope you can, and we'll see what the weekend brings after you play 2 matches. But see how it feels. But then we'll have Georgia and Lexi at 2, and then we'll just put Sarah and Chloe at 3. Right now is what we're going to start with. But the thing is that you got. I mean, if you look at Sarah, Chloe, and then down you go to Sophie Gilbertson, and there's several others, Elizabeth Nelson, but we don't know where we're going to end, but we're just going to start here, and we're going to look at the JV matches, look at how you play singles, like how Chloe plays singles, how anybody plays, and we're going to flip around, and I'm not going to feel bad if a coach goes, well, do you have a challenge match? I'm going to be like, do you know that we don't have court space and it's been cruddy out? Like, I'm trying to do my best to put the correct lineup out there, because the rule is your 1 player has to be better than your 2 all the way down through 6, and in doubles, your 1 doubles team is supposed to be better than your 2 and your 3. So as we don't have the space and don't have the time for matches, and with the weather that's happened, I just have to make the best decision possible and keep it as ethical as I can.
And really, that now once you get the matches going, you'll be able to make decisions a little bit better and see how the players are competing.
Yep, and I said that too. Like, so with Georgia, Kaylee, and Sky up top, like we could look at the match results and go, you know what, we did have that wrong. We'll flip this around, or let's say Lexi loses at number 4 and Sarah wins at number 5 handily. That might be a indicator to switch. So we will do some switching without matches, because so it would be great if we had perfect weather to play matches before the season started, just so we have a baseline. But once season starts, it's literally practice, match, practice, match, practice, match. So are we going to spend a day of practice to have 2 kids play a match to see what their position should be, and they miss out on the full day of practice? That's always a tough decision. Yeah. But we're doing something different this year. We're sending 6 kids down to City Park, and then we're having a parent be an adult just watching, and they're playing matches on practice days, so that way it's a perfect 12 on my court. It's a perfect 12 on Coach Aberley's court, which is awesome because 4 kids per court makes practice very, very efficient. So we have 2 efficient practices, and then 6 kids are getting match experience. And that started yesterday because the courts were finally cleared at City Park, and we have 6 more going down today to play some matches. So that'll be good for those kids to get some matches under their belt.
Final question: when you're playing against players like a Sky Nielsen and Kaylee and Georgia, as far as the younger players, you're playing some of the best players in the state. How good is that for their development, playing against and seeing these players play?
For
your development, and for your younger
kids,
players.
they definitely look up there and they see how they hit the ball, and so when I'm teaching them, like yesterday, we did a lot with our forehand and backhand and understanding the depth, the height, the spin that we need on the ball, and I worked with them, and everyone was trying to hit the ball like Kaylee, Sky, and Georgia, because they see it, so they know that it can be done, and I think that really helps them because they know that it's possible, and they see how the ball acts when Kaylee, Sky, and Georgia hit, and they're like, I want to do that too. So when I'm teaching them, it's pretty easy to teach kids who are willing to that understand where they need to go because they see where it is and they want to be as good as them. So it makes my job a lot easier because all those kids are coachable going, I want to be good also. So it's a lot of fun having those three up top as leaders and examples.
Well, next week we'll at least have one match, hopefully two matches that we're going to talk about when we see you again next week. So good luck here with Red River tomorrow, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. That is Coach Matt Nielsen from Highlander Tennis, back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, and now we're getting into the fine arts side of it, and this is going to be a fun one. I've been looking forward to this one here for the last about 24 hours. Leah Hochhalter joining us, senior from Valley City High School. Are you able to breathe now? A little bit. A little bit. I know you have a lot of free time. Well, let's see. We've got speech, we've got poetry out loud, but let's talk about yesterday and the big thing. Decided Western Michigan University is your landing spot for college. Outside of the normal process of a kid looking for a college, this was ridiculous what you had to do.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the process.
So I knew forever, like, I wanted to be something in the performance arts, whether that be an actor or singer or something. Mm-hmm. I knew I wanted to do something performance-based. And so it wasn't until, like, last year that I was like, okay, like, and coming from North Dakota, you don't know these opportunities are out there because here, North Dakota is known for agriculture. And so that's what a lot of our fields are and what our colleges focus on. And so I had to look outside of the state, otherwise I wouldn't have success with what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And so luckily, last summer, we kind of were like, should we start thinking about college? Like, I mean, it's kind of early, but so the summer of my junior year, my mom was in a bunch of Facebook groups, and she saw these things talking about pre-screen videos and unified auditions, and we're like, what are these words? And so we found this lady through one of the Facebook groups, and her job is helping people like myself through this process who have no idea how to do it or what to do. And so I started my college process in August before school had even started. I filled out my first application on a car ride to Medora. Yep, we were going on like one last vacation, and I was like, gotta get something in. Right. So I started collecting all these applications, and that's just academic side. So I had finished all my academic applications at least by end of September. And so then it was the next step that is unheard of coming from here. Like, I'm so glad we found who we found, because I wouldn't have been able to make it through, because we have no idea coming from Valley City, North Dakota. You don't know what these things are, because it's not a popular field, and that's just because of what we do in North Dakota. And so with unifieds and pre-screen videos, what I had to do was submit all the academic applications, and you could technically do those after you submit your artistic applications, but don't do that, because like, why apply artistically if you don't even get accepted academically?
Right. Okay.
So after the academic applications were submitted, I worked with a Robin Alabak over in Fargo for voice singing stuff, and then we hired a monologue coach, just because I don't even know what to look for monologues. I'm in speech, but that's speech, and so I didn't know what to look for monologues or anything. So she really helped there and helped helped coach me through like how they should look and sound and
Okay.
feel. And so then I had to record pre-screen videos, and what that is literally just like a self-tape. So you set up your camera, you record yourself either singing or doing the monologue, or sometimes I had to do dance videos too. And so it's the first couple felt like really awkward, but then I was like, okay, let's just film another one. Let's film another one. It got more comfortable. And so with that, it's just you film, and not every school requires a pre-screen. So a pre-screen, you can get rejected from the pre-screen, and by doing that, you don't even get an audition.
Okay.
Not every school has a pre-screen, but a lot do.
Yeah.
And so the pre-screen just kind of is a first, literally pre-screening. So you're screening a bunch of applicants and knocking out some candidates before, like, and then you don't have to audition as many. And so, yeah, I did get rejected from some. Actually, Western Michigan, I had originally applied for the musical theater program, and they had rejected me before I even got an audition with them. And I was like, oh, I kind of was starting to like them, but okay, that's fine. But they redirected me to the acting, and so I was like, I might as well apply, whatever.
Yep.
Didn't think anything of it. And so after the pre-screens were submitted, you have to wait, and the waiting game is not fun.
Right.
Some colleges gave me, like, audition right away.
Yep.
Some I had to wait, and then, like I said, some I did get rejected from. And so part of the field, which I'm glad I can handle rejection, because, like, that's all this is, is like...
Right.
And with any field, you can get rejected from, but, like, it was nice knowing that just because I got a rejection, that didn't mean it was hopeless.
Yep.
And so after pre-screens were, like, cleared, you get to sign up for an audition. And so some I did virtually, and then we kind of started asking ourselves, do we go to one of these unifieds? And what unifieds is they have 3 locations: LA, New York, Chicago.
Okay.
There might be a third one or a fourth one, but those 3 for sure. And it's a bunch of these artistic schools that come together in, like, a venue, and it's just auditions for like 3 days straight of different people. But it's like a one-stop shop for a bunch of schools. And so we decided we were going to go to Chicago Unifieds because
Right.
it's easier to do an in-person. Like, at first I was like, in-person audition, no, just stick to the virtual. But then as I started doing it, I was like, I'd much rather do in-person than virtual, because you can actually, like, connect and interact with the people.
Yep.
And that was really nice. And so we signed up for auditions, Unifieds came around, and it was unknown. Like, I didn't know how to react to any of this. Like, it was crazy. And so I think in Chicago I had 6 auditions, 6 or 7. And at Unifieds, the nice thing is you can get walk-in auditions.
Okay.
So you can just be like, hey,
I'm here.
do you have any walk-ins? And what that means is you can get an audition for a school you haven't already been, like, rejected
Okay.
from. So I couldn't go to, like, Western Michigan Musical Theater and be like, do you have a walk-in? Because they rejected me from their pre-screen. So, but other schools, I got, like, 2 walk-ins, I think, maybe 1 or 2. And so you could just go in, and it gives more opportunity, which was really nice.
Right.
And so then after Unifieds, I had a couple more virtual auditions, not many, and then I was done. But then the fun part came where I have to wait. And so Unifieds was in February, and then I started getting offers. Earliest offer was actually the week of Unifieds, and it was Western Michigan. They were
Okay.
like, it wasn't an official offer. They were like, so Western Michigan, it's so weird that I'm going there because of the process that I took with that school.
Right.
Like, that was the audition of all the auditions at Unifieds that I was like, that was weird. Like, that was weird. Because what happened was the head of acting couldn't be there. She had a family emergency, so she had to leave.
Okay.
And so after my audition, I came out, and one of the student helpers that they had was like, email our acting coach. And I was like, okay, they say that to everybody because
Sure.
the head of acting isn't there. So,
Right.
like, email her to let her know that you were here. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that makes sense. And then he was like, you had a really good audition. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I email her when we get back to our hotel room, and she emails me back, like, right away. And they recorded it so so their professors could watch them.
Right.
And she emailed me back right away and was like, do you have time to Zoom sometime? Like, I loved what I saw. And I was like, what? How did you already email me back? And B, how did you already have time to watch the videos? Like,
Right.
this was insane. And so we had Zoomed by the end of that week, and she had, like, we got to just connect a little bit. And then she said at, like, the end of the Zoom, if you need an offer, like, just let me know, and I could give you one right now. Like, so and no, it wasn't an official offer, but like they had wanted me, and I think that's what in the end really, that's what sold me. Like the other schools, like acceptances came and some waitlist, which waitlist is great in this. A lot of people look at a waitlist and they're like, no, that's just a rejection, and it's not because of how like the turnover in the BFA programs is,
Right.
because you have to decide on one. You can't decide on all of them.
Okay.
So by staying on the wait list, you could get an acceptance. So that's just something that maybe that is different from other programs. I mean, always stay on a wait list if you want to go there.
Right.
But with this one especially, because the turnover, you can sometimes like get moved up the wait list or get off the wait list in less time than you think.
Yep.
So I had gotten acceptances and offers, but I think in the end what sold me was the fact that Western Michigan like wanted me, and not just
Okay.
they wanted me because their numbers, they need me, but they like needed me. Like they saw something
Right.
in my performance and my acting that like that was there, and that just makes me feel validated, and like what I'm doing is right, and it's not like, oh, that's a hobby, because that's not what it is.
No,
Like to
no.
me, that's what I was born to do,
Yeah.
and I can't. And like when people say to me, oh, so you don't want to make money, it's not about that, and that's really discouraging, because you wouldn't go to somebody who wants to be a teacher and say, oh, so you don't want money. Like you don't do that. Like
Right,
if you
right.
are born to do something, you're born to do it.
Yep.
Like I believe not anybody can be a teacher. That is a gift. Not everybody can be an actor. That is my gift. And so when people say things that are discouraging, it makes me think, am I doing this? Like, am I doing something wrong? Should I not be doing this?
Right.
And so just by these schools, and not just Western Michigan, but like by these schools seeing something in me, it made me realize, yes, this is what I was supposed to do. And I got an acceptance. What really made me feel like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be, is I was accepted into a program called Circle and Square 2 and 2. So it was 2 years at Eckerd College in Florida, and then 2 in Circle and Square in New York, which is a conservatory for theater.
Okay.
And our consultant, when we had met with her, she had told me that Circle and the Square in New York is like, they deal with professionals. They deal with adults that are already in the field who want more training. Like, so
Okay.
the fact that I got accepted into
Sure.
there means they saw something. And so that just made me feel really like, okay, yeah, this is right. So
Well, it almost sounds like it's like casting a show. They needed a blonde, blue-eyed Midwesterner.
correct. So like, and yeah, you can't have, and that's the other thing with like remaining on the wait list. You can't cast a show with, these programs audition like 600 to like over 800 people
Right.
a year. Like that's how big it is. And the acceptance rate for these classes are 18 to 20 people. And so the fact that I didn't get just one offer, but multiple, like that's crazy to me.
Right.
Because not just the fact that there's 18 to 20 people, but there's like 2 slots for me, because I'm blonde, I'm a girl, I'm white, like, and you
Yeah,
can't cast
sure.
you can't cast a show with 18 of me.
No.
Like you need a variety, and that's the beauty of the BFA programs, is that like you get to meet all these people because of how diverse the casting is for this program, and
Right.
so it's just really cool. And so I'm going into acting, and there's also a difference between BFA and BA. So BA is Bachelor Arts, and then BFA is Bachelor of Fine Arts. BAs are not nearly as competitive. BFA is the competitive one. And so before deciding this process, we had to decide which route to take, and ultimately BFA, because that's like concentrated in the field you want.
Sure.
And so that's what made me choose BFA. And so I'm going into acting, and that's not musical theater, yes, but I can still take voice lessons like within the school if there's room, or just look outside in the town, because Kalamazoo is pretty, it's pretty big. There's got to be some voice coaches in there.
Sure.
And so I was also planning to minor in dance, because the nice thing about Western Michigan is they have like the top, like the big 5 BFA programs. So acting, musical theater, visual arts, music, and then dance. And so that means their dance program is actually strong, whereas some of these, they're like, we have dance, and it's probably going to be the level that I'm at right now. So
Right,
I
sure.
want to grow my skill and not just stay level.
Yeah, get better at what you're doing. Yeah. And just broaden your horizons, really,
Yeah.
and make yourself more hireable, if you will.
Correct.
And it sounds too. This is, with the rejection process you talk about. if you're going to be an actor, you're going to go at auditions.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of directors saying you're not fit for the part, so you're
And not everybody can handle that.
Right.
I had a professor at one of the schools I was looking at, and she was like, I eventually couldn't handle the rejections, and so I became a teacher in this,
Sure.
and I love what I do. And so that was just, I know I can handle it because I've been handling the rejection, not just in applications, but like I said earlier, with like people being like, oh, you think you can do that? And I'm
Right.
like, yes, I can. And so I've been battling like people not believing in
Right.
this.
Yep.
And part of it is the culture here, I think. It's because we're not used to fine arts like this. And
Right.
that's not wrong on North Dakota or Valley
No,
City. That's
no.
just because of where we are and
Exactly.
what has been like set before us.
Mm-hmm.
Like agriculture, medicine, farming, that is agriculture. Farming, teaching, like those are the things.
Yes,
So
yes.
and that's just how it is because of where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So
It is our thing. That's what we do.
right.
It's our jam.
right. But if you
will.
went to California, like
Oh, yeah.
if you wanted to be a farmer in California, it'd be like
yeah,
go
no.
somewhere else. That's not here.
Go-
So
yeah.
so it's
Go
just
to
like
the
two
Midwest.
sides of yeah.
Well, now, like I said, this is, and I think it was 26 schools. You academically made them all
Yes.
of them, but it came down to 4. I think that made the offers in Western Michigan, which is in Kalamazoo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So halfway between Chicago and Detroit. And of course, they are a good hockey program, but we won't talk about that because there's an issue now with the
Rival,
with the,
yep.
with the UND thing. But anyway, but this is just part of what we were going to talk about here. Of course, state speech coming up this weekend. I think you've qualified in a couple of events.
Yep.
Getting now with this process out of
Yeah.
the way, are you ready for this now?
Oh, I don't feel ready,
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't remember how I felt last year either
Sure.
leading up to state. There's kind of I feel like added pressure because I won last year, and I do want to win again. But if I
Right.
don't, like that's fine. I'm not gonna cry about it. But
Right.
I want to do well and I want to put my best foot forward, and so I've been practicing. I didn't get to practice yesterday, but that I was dancing. So I practiced Monday, Tuesday. I'm gonna practice more speech today and then Friday because I gotta get clean blocking, clean everything. So I'm taking humorous and serious duo with Kylie Van Bruggen.
Sure.
So
Yep. Because you qualified in 3, I think, didn't you? But you can
4.
only do 2. Oh, you can only
Yeah.
do 2, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you're ready to go. Sort of.
yeah, I mean, I'll be good. Tuesday was kind of like a weird day for practice,
Sure.
and you have to have like a terrible run through day, I think,
Okay.
to be beneficial. That's usually what it is. It's like I have like one day where it's like what was that? That's not it. And so and then after you have like your bad practice out of the way, then you can focus. And so yeah, I'm ready to like after school today. I'm just gonna like
Let's go.
pound out
It's
of
go time.
pound out in speech. Yep.
And the third thing we were going to talk about quickly is Poetry Out Loud.
Oh, yeah.
How fun is this going to be? It's May 5th through the 7th. I think
Yep.
you go to D.C.
Yeah,
State champ, too, by the way.
This was so like unexpected. I had wanted to do Poetry Out Loud last year, but I didn't know how to sign up or anything, and so I was like, I'll do it this year. And so we had to do it for a class, and then won the classroom level. Actually, the day I had to speak the first poem for Poetry Out Loud, I was going to Nebraska to tour a college, so I had to go earlier. So, fun fact. Won the school level thing, and then went to state, and I was like, okay, this is just gonna be fun. This is like I wanted to make it to state. Like that was
right.
I thought that would be really cool experience. And I had seen like years past, and I was like, I want to do that, and so made it to state. And then my goal for state was just to final, like get to the 3rd round, I guess. And I did that, and I was like, yes, 5th place, here I come. And then they called the things. They had a keynote speaker, so
Right.
before they called, so I was just like waiting, and I'm like, I don't like this anxiety. Just please tell me, and then have the
Wait
keynote
again.
speaker. Yeah. And so 5th place was called, and I was like, okay, 4th. And then 4th place was called, and it still wasn't me, and they kept going up. And then 2nd place, I was like, okay, Leo Hochhalter 2nd place.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, and I was like,
Hello.
because I hadn't expected, like, I knew I had the capability to win, but
Right.
like some of these people had like done this years prior, and I'm like,
Sure.
oh, so they
Right.
like they know how to do this, and so just winning that was really crazy, and it was really fun because not just like winning, but I liked how they like the whole competition in itself because there was like keynote speakers and like breaks to look at the arts, and
Sure.
it was really fun. And so for nationals, Valley City's never had this state champ before, so
Right.
this is very, very scary because I'm the first one, and I can't
Right.
like text somebody like, "Hey, how was nationals?" Because I
do it.
can't do it. So for nationals, I'm really excited to just like, because I'm there with like one person from every state in the U.S. That's cool. Like, so seeing all these people and all the different cultures behind different states, I think is going to be really cool. And I mean, it'd be really nice to final at nationals, but
Right.
bigger pool of people. And so I'm just going to, after speech, I'm going to start working, like I have them still memorized, but start reworking the poems again, just to have my best foot forward for nationals, because got to represent North Dakota. Yes.
Same ones you did at state or different?
Yep, they are the
Okay.
same three.
Okay.
So.
And same three, there was three of them, yeah.
And so I'll for sure speak the first two, and then if I believe it's the same thing as how state worked. So if I advance to the final round, then I get to speak the third one.
Okay. You got a lot going on. But it's almost over.
Yep.
It'll be,
I think
the
like
end is near.
after state. Oh, and then Nat quals for speech.
Right.
After that, like then I'll be able to breathe a little bit more. I think I'm actually more stressed for qualifiers than I am for state, because
Okay.
state's different because it's a 3-round, which you win some, you lose some. So state's gonna be interesting. I am excited to see how it goes because it's never been a 3-round, so it will be interesting. But yeah, I think I got to work on national qualifiers, and I think that's probably the highest point of stress right
Sure.
now is Nat quals, just because I do want to qualify, and so because I didn't qualify last year, but I qualified 2 years ago, so it'd be nice to qualify again. So
Now that Western Michigan is done,
Yes,
that
that
part
is-
is over.
we're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to find a roommate now. So yeah.
Another audition process.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You're auditioning instead of auditioning yourself. You're auditioning other people. Well, Leah, again, congratulations on everything. It's been a fun ride. Now it's senior year too. I mean, is that starting to sink into? You're almost done being a
mean,
highliner.
Some like it comes and goes. Like last year, I was like, I want to graduate now, and
Yeah,
this year it's been hard just
Yeah.
because of all the changes, and so I've been ready to go. But what's really getting me hung up is, and I didn't think it would. This was like an unexpected one. Every time I'm over at Micaiah's studio, I'm reminded like yesterday, one of the littles came up and was like, "Why does it have to be your last year?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
yeah.
oh my gosh!"
Yep.
Like that was the unexpected one. Was Micaiah's studio? I didn't realize, like
You made an impact.
that. Like
there.
every time I'm over there, that's
Yeah.
when I'm like reminded, like, this is the last year, and like the last show to dream a dream again.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, like Micaiah's studio reminds me that I'm a senior. Every like in school, I'm like, yes, last year. But as soon as I'm over there, I'm like, oh,
You'll
no.
come back and visit.
Oh yeah, and that's what I keep telling them. I'm like, I will visit. I
Guest
will be back
instructor or
here.
something.
Yeah. Well, and then the minor and dance, I
And
could
minor
like
dance.
coach dance
Yep.
there. So
you're set.
very useful. Yep.
You're set. Well, Leah, again, congratulations on everything, and look forward to talking to you when you
Yes.
get back from Poetry Out Loud. We'll see where you at.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That is Leah Hochhalter here from Valley City High School. A lot going on in this young lady's life, so we'll hear more about her coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, and track and field, they've actually had the most competition as far as the spring sports, but it's all been inside. Now they're going to get a chance to go outside a little bit, and we're joined by Jason Lassiter and Greta Govan. It's a couple of seniors here for the Highlander track team, and I guess we'll start with you, Jason. How has the indoor season gone for you? I know here at the last meet, Concordia, you had a pretty good, probably one of your better meets.
Yeah, I placed at the last meet in my 60-meter hurdles, and at the the meet on last Saturday when we went up to UND, I tried 300-meter hurdles for the first time. I've never trained for them. I kind of just told Coach Backler, put me in. Just put me in, okay? It was difficult. I'm not a real long-distance person, and I'd say that it's harder than a 400 because you have to jump 8 times in between the 300 meters. So that was really exciting. I felt like death after, but I really like it, and I think that was just something that
You're glad you did it, though.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'll keep doing it.
Okay,
So.
and because I know at Concordia, I think you got what number in 5th place now in the 55.
Yeah.
Is that your go-to, the 55?
Yeah. Yep, in the indoor season,
Yeah.
and then once we go outdoor, it turns to 100.
Yep,
Yeah.
because I know it's different when it's indoor and outdoor.
Yeah.
How do you, when you, and Greta, I'll ask you the same thing too. When you look at the indoor season, it's kind of the preseason, if you will. But how do you get ready for the outdoor season? Is that when you utilize the indoor season, of course, just getting yourself in shape and getting ready for the outdoor season?
Yeah, it kind of gets back into the groove of knowing when my events are, knowing how much time I have in between to practice and warm up and just get my head in the right space so then I can go into the outdoor season and be ready and just focus on the race.
And Greta, for you too, it's been a pretty good indoor season. Do you feel you're doing what you wanted to accomplish here in the indoor season to get ready for outdoor?
Oh yeah, for sure. Normally coming into indoor, I don't have a lot of like high expectations for myself because coming off of basketball, it's like a short turnaround. We had like a meet I think it was the second week that we were back from basketball, so I kind of just go into it like seeing what I can do. So this year I probably had my best indoor season I've had, which was like kind of a surprise to me, so that's been fun. I don't know. Indoor's kind of like hard to get yourself up for a little bit because
Sure.
it's not like, it's kind of like what am I running for, but then again I feel like it's a good thing to like build some confidence going into outdoor too because you're like, okay, I know I can run these times, I know I can run the race. So
The 1600, that's a mile, right? But are you more concentrating on the 800, or do you do some of the? I know you do well in the 1600 as well. Have you ever thought the 3200 at all, or no?
I used to run that. There's a reason I don't anymore. Definitely not a very fun race at all.
Right.
I don't know. I figure if I can have more fun doing something else, then I don't need to put myself through that. Yeah, definitely focus on the 8. I'll run the 16, just why not type thing. And I think it helps the 8 too. This year I kind of want to do the 4 as well, so we'll see how that works into everything. So
Throwing a couple of relays in there as well. How is, I know the answer, it's always turn left, turn left, turn left, but what's the difference running cross country compared to running on a track? I mean, do you pace yourself differently, or how would you, I don't know, I'm trying to answer, what's the difference really outside of just running outside and turning left? Do you train differently at all, or no?
definitely we don't put on like as many miles, which I feel like is a given. Obviously, also like the pace in track, like the 800, you're basically sprinting the whole thing. It's not quite the same for cross country, but I'd say like some similarities. Like everybody still starts off super fast, like they do in cross country. I don't know. Personally, I like track more. It's flat. You don't have to worry about hills. You don't have to worry about like, the wind will be on one side, and you don't have to. I don't know. I just think they're definitely different because of like pacing and like the surface that you're running on, but. Yeah.
And in cross country, you're on, your race is done. In track, okay, I got this race, but I got another one coming up, or I got 2 more coming up. For you, Jason, too, as you look forward to your senior year and you get ready now for outdoor season, we got the first outdoor coming up tomorrow against Cheyenne because Jamestown for tonight was postponed. What would you like to accomplish here as a senior?
I really want to accomplish getting better at the 300 hurdles. I feel like that's something I could really get better at. I mean, I had a really good time for never doing it before, so I think if I keep training the more long distance, the more endurance type thing, I can get to where I want to be for that. For the 100-meter hurdles, really want to get down to 3-stepping, get fast in between the hurdles, and just attack every time and get to the finish line.
What is the hardest thing for you is in the hurdles? Is there something it's really something you really got to work on?
It's kind of the mental thing.
Okay.
That's a given with track. It's all in your head. It's just you against the clock, and nobody else really matters except for just getting to the end. But if you have a bad practice or a bad run through before your race, it can completely throw off the entire practice.
Right.
Last night I was just tired, and it was at the end of our practice, and I was not getting over a single hurdle, and I'm like, how can I even keep going on if I
Right,
can't even
right.
get over this. But it's just kind of something that you got to push through, and it's just an uphill battle.
And do it.
Yeah.
And try not to think about it if
Yeah.
you can. How about you, Greta? What would you like to accomplish? What's your kind of goal you've set for yourself for this senior year?
I would like to set a personal record. Haven't done that. I guess I didn't set one last year, so I would just like to see those go down a little bit. Honestly, improvement, and I'm happy with that. So.
Are you excited now, both of you, to get outdoor? And I know you've been able to train a little bit outdoor in practice, but now get a excellent competition outside. Are you ready for that? Geared up for that first one tomorrow?
Oh, for sure. I'm very excited. Yep.
And weather's gonna be nice. 67
Yeah.
degrees should be perfect running weather for you guys. Is there such a thing as perfect running weather, Jason?
As long as it's not wind towards my face, then we'll be good.
If it's at your back,
Yeah.
you're good to go,
Yeah.
and not raining and slippery track or whatever the case may be. Well, we got Cheyenne, and then of course, I mean, it comes fast and furious, doesn't it, Greta? Now, once you get indoors, it's like 1 month and it's like nonstop.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy the amount of like meets we have and the amount of preparation, but I don't know, more chances to qualify and to run a good race. So.
But so far, so good, though. You're happy
Yeah.
with where things have gone in the indoor season. Now you're ready for the outdoor season.
Yeah.
How about leadership roles? You know, you got a lot of younger athletes. You guys take a little bit of that leadership role. Greta, I'll start with you.
Yeah, probably like in the warm-ups and stuff, we'll like lead it, like be whatever at the top of the lines. But then, I don't know, track is so individual. It's kind of hard to like add that in there. But just being like positive, I would say, and like encouraging is important to do, especially younger kids. Like, for example, in like distance, they're probably not having the best time. So just like trying to bring like some joy into running, I think is important.
And how about you? Maybe tell them what to expect if they get to a meet or something like that.
Yeah, I found myself, so there's some more unexperienced hurdlers starting out this year, and even though I just started last year, I obviously get to kind of lead them through like the warm-ups, like you said, and kind of helping them watch their run-throughs and making sure that they're getting all the steps and making sure that they're running their best race, because not the coach isn't always there to
Right.
help. And really, I think the best part about track is at the end of someone else's race when you just get to like congratulate them.
Sure.
Because even if you don't do well at that race, then you could see someone younger than you or even your peer and see that they're successful, and
Yeah.
it just makes everything better.
That encouragement always goes a long way.
Yeah.
It does. Cool. All right. Well, ladies, I appreciate you joining us here. Good luck here tomorrow and throughout the season as we get into the track season. Of course, May 12th, circle that on your calendar. That's when we're home. I know there's a junior high one coming up in April, but definitely the last chance coming up here in the middle of May. Jason Lassiter, Greta Govan. Guys, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Highlander Activity Network from the Hack right after this. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network, Coach's Corner, and we are joined now by a couple of juniors from the Highlander baseball team, Jack Samuelson and Corbin Powell joining us here. Fellas, preseason is over. You guys finally get a game going here. Jack, I'll start with you. How has the preseason gone? I mean, you've been indoors a lot, but how is this getting ready for the season gone for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. We haven't been able to get much hitting in because we've been hitting side toss into the wall in the gym. So we've been outside a couple times, seen a couple times front toss, but it's been pretty tough. So just hoping we're ready for the game today.
How about you, Corbin? How have you felt the preseason gone, getting yourself ready?
It's been pretty good, but the hitting part, we don't have cages inside, so it's pretty tough to do any real hitting. But the defensive side of the ball, I feel like we're pretty prepared, and we got a good group of guys.
And a catcher, back at catcher again
Yeah.
for you, and kind of that captain on the defense because you get to see everything. One thing I've been wanting to ask you, when your throws down to first, you're probably one of the better ones I've seen is with quick throws to first. Is that a sign that you have with the first baseman, or is that something they better be ready?
A little bit of both. If like we see the guy getting off, we'll try and make eye contact and like give him a little head nod. But sometimes it is just my own decision. I just do it in the moment.
And they got to know.
Yeah.
It might be coming.
Yeah.
It might be coming. Jack, too, coming off the arm problems, you're ready to go. Everything 100%, sort of.
Yeah,
I don't want to jinx anything, of course.
For the most part, I did my PT, and I think I'm pretty much back to normal.
Right. Well, now tonight they go to Thompson to take on the Tommies, first game of the year, and boy, talk about getting a tough one right out of the chute. Three-time state champion in Thompson. Jack, I'll start with you. What do you expect tonight? What do you guys obviously want to win the game, but what would you like to really get out of tonight's game with Thompson?
I'm just hoping that we can put together some good at bats and like have some good defense going because. Obviously, they're a good team. They won the state championship last year. I don't know if they graduated many guys, so they're going to be pretty tough. But if we can just get out there, play a good game right off the bat, get some good at-bats together, and play some good defense, we'll be sitting good.
Timing is everything in hitting, and then not being able to see live pitching, Corbin, for you, is that a little bit more difficult for you guys as hitters, not seeing that live pitching?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for my first at-bat, but I feel like everyone will pick up on it pretty quick.
Yeah. And as a catcher, too, now pitching, as far as a pitching staff, a fairly young pitching staff, how would you describe the group you got this year?
We've got a couple of young guys that have pitched quite a bit of innings
yeah.
in the past, but we're not really that deep. But I feel like we have guys who can pitch, so it wouldn't be the worst thing, you know.
Going against a team you've never seen, like with Thompson, as far as base runners, is there anything you have in your mind as far as, okay, this guy's going to steal, this guy isn't, or no, or is it just
No,
you're going in blind?
Yeah, going in blind.
And just, really, baseball's a game of reaction, too, isn't it? And you just get out there and see what happens. But are you excited, though, to finally get the season going here?
Yeah.
Because we've got just one game, I think, one or two that have been postponed, but with Thompson tonight. On the road, 4 o'clock, I believe, start time for the game with Thompson tonight.
Yep.
Final question for both of you. Jack, first for you. As juniors now, so you still got another year to go, but your last year in the EDC, what's kind of a goal you want to set for this team as you head into this season?
I'd like to see us make the EDC tournament. Obviously, the last couple of years we've come up short, but this year I think we have a pretty decent team. We got a bunch of young guys, but I think that we have the talent to go far this season.
How about you, Corbin?
I'd say the same thing. We haven't been back to the tournament since I think my 8th grade year, and that was a really fun experience, and I just hope we can get back.
And even though you're a couple of juniors, but you're a couple of veterans. You've been part of this, not only the varsity team, but the Legion program and stuff for the last several years. Do you take a little bit of a leadership role, Corbin?
Yeah, I for sure do, especially as a catcher. I've got to kind of direct everyone, and like everyone echoes me, so I got to be a good leader.
How about that, Jack? Is that something you too, along with, was it Bodie and Trevor are the only two seniors, so do you guys kind of take that leadership role too as for yourself?
Yeah, since we don't have very many older guys, we just kind of got to step up and take leadership roles.
And just get out there and play. Is that let's have some fun and play some ball right now. And this too is going to come fast and furious because you start now, but in about 3 weeks it's already talking postseason. So a lot of games in a short amount of time. But that's why we play the game, because you love to get out there. All right, guys, I appreciate it as usual and get you to class here. And don't want you to be late. But thanks again for joining us, and good luck here tonight in Thompson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jack Samuelson, Corbin Powell joining us from Highlander Baseball. We'll be back, wrap things up here on Coach's Corner from the Highlander Activity Center. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network, wrapping things up on this Thursday. Again, we'll be back again next week. Just a few shows left to go here on the Highlander Activity Network and Coach's Corner as we are getting close to wrapping things up. Softball, they're off again this week. They played a couple of games last week at the Jamestown Bubble over at the Nelson Family Bubble. Lost a couple of games to Lax Burlington and to Thompson. And softball is off again. They will start their games next week. Also getting started this week was golf, and they're just getting outside. Coach Buff Murray and his crew just getting a chance to hit the links, and they'll have their first meet coming up here in a couple of weeks. So a lot more to talk about as spring sports starts their competition here in the coming days. Well, I want to thank here our guests for today's Coach's Corner, Matt Nielsen, Leah Holcoulter, along with Jason Lassiter, Greta Govin, Corbin Powell, and Jack Samuelson joining us on today's show. And as usual, Ray Nelson, our camera operator, technical director, and producer producer here today. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network.